Hi, I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who are pretty pissed off about the outcome of this recent American presidential election. And I'm sure you're all thinking, boy, I knew a lot of people were stupid, but this just takes the cake. Well, you're not alone. Now I'd like to remind you that this election isn't over yet. The Electoral College meets on December 13th to decide our next president, and there is significant evidence that Obama falsified his birthplace in order to gain candidacy. Whether it's true or not, I don't know, but the Supreme Court is investigating it, and if it turns out to be true, Obama may be denied the presidency, so keep your fingers crossed. With that said, let's assume that Obama does win. In that case, we need to fight. We need to fight this because America is under attack, and the attacker is communism. Our next president is a Marxist, and it is of paramount priority that we unite and form a bulwark against this threat. If we acquiesce, I guarantee we'll wake up one day in Soviet America and we'll have to explain to our kids and future kids what America was like in the good days. This prospect is why I've created a resistance movement, Guardians of Freedom and Capitalism. Our mission is to prevent the spread of communism and/or socialism and the degradation of American values through any means necessary by resisting the actions of politicians who mean America harm. Now there's no need for violence right now. We'll cross that bridge if and when we come to it. Right now, our job is to be the watching eyes for America. We need to be rather passive in our resistance. Obama hasn't become president yet, and if he does, we can afford to wait and see what he does. His previous actions and records suggest that he'll be a destructive influence, but until he actually does something wrong, we'll just stand back and watch. Remember, the more he fucks up, the stronger our numbers will grow. The first stage of this resistance is to put Obama's actions in the public spotlight. Every time he tries to nationalize America, we'll be there to publicize and criticize it and say, hey everybody, look at this. You know that if somebody had been doing this in Germany back in 1933, the world might have taken a very different direction. I think James Madison said it best when he said, "Since the general civilization of mankind, I believe there are more instances of the abridgment of the freedom of the people by gradual and silent encroachment by those in power than by violent and sudden usurpations." That's pretty much dead on. We need to make sure that nothing too big is happening behind closed doors. If our publicity campaign fails our mission, we'll move to more active methods of resistance. Remember, this is a nation with a government, not a government with a nation. We, the people, are the ones with the ultimate power here. If our government doesn't respond to our demands, we have means to stop it. Protests, riots, willful tax evasion, strikes, and if necessary, revolution, coup d'etat, and secession are methods at our disposal. I doubt we'll have to use them, mind you, but it's good to know your options. Ultimately, our goal is not to have to resort to such measures. Ultimately, we would like the people to recognize Obama for what he is and vote against him and his socialist values in 2010 and 2012, which, at that point, we can disband and wait for the next Che Guevara wannabe to try to assume power. If we hold fast to our values and stay united, America will stay great for generations to come. So if you agree with what I've said and would like to show your support and fight for American values, subscribe to this channel, or if you have a Facebook account, you can join the official group, Guardians of Freedom and Capitalism, and tell Obama to keep the change. In closing, I'd like to speak directly to Mr. Obama. Mr. Obama, congratulations on winning the general election. If you are legit and become president, we will reluctantly support you as long as you promise to uphold American values. Remember that liberal is fine. We can respect liberal. If you want to pull the troops out of Iraq, fine. If you want to sign all kinds of environmentalist bills, fine. You can be as liberal as you want. After all, that is what the American people voted for, a liberal president to bring about change, and democracy is definitely an American value. What the American people didn't vote for is a radical leader to expand government to levels never before seen in this country. Once you cross over into radical, we'll be throwing yellow flags at your administration from every direction. We are not going to tolerate Marxism. Remember, half of America didn't vote for you, and of the half that did, I'll bet 50% of them wouldn't have had they not been brainwashed by your flashy propaganda. So just know that we're watching, and the second you start up with the Mao Zedong crap, with your mandatory civil service and your hyper-progressive tax plans, your socialized medicine and gun control, and all the rest of your socialist agenda. Don't expect a minimal resistance. We will be watching. This is why we resist. This is why we fight. And if this isn't worth fighting for, then I don't know what is.